We are now seeing Maulana J.D. Shams distributing prizes to young children. This scene was taken in Masjid Nur, the mosque in which our second Khalifa was elected in 1914. Maulana Shams was Imam of the London Mosque for 10 years, and during that period he never returned to his homeland. A great sacrifice on his part. Now he has several sons who are missionaries in different parts of the world.
When my father came to London and he preached here, that there were so many things happening here, and Aziz Deen Sahib, the late, and there were so many others to whom I met. You know, those people used to be here when my father was working here as the missionary. All of them were praising my father, and they used to say that that period was a golden period of the Jamaat Ahmadiyya, tabligh-wise, the preaching-wise. They used to go to Hyde Park Corner, they used to have debates there, and then in Fazl Mosque London, they organized a conference on the peace of the world peace. And my father spoke about Amne Alam or Islam, the world peace and Islam. So that's how this was publicized in various newspapers at that time. But there were so many other activities going on in the, during that period when my father was here. When he went back to Qadian, Hazrat al-Muslihul Maud Razillah Anhu said that there is a hadith of the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that in the latter age, a time would come when the sun would be rising from the west. And as Shamsab has come back from west, and that there are various missionaries who are working in different parts of Europe, but Allah the Almighty enabled only Maulana Shams Sahib to come back first from European countries, from the west, and that is how the prophecy of the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that sun would be appearing from the west is fulfilled also in a way in his person.
There was a gentleman called Mr. Green. He was a priest, and he challenged Maulana to have a debate with him. Maulana very gladly accepted this, and the debate took place at Hyde Park Corner every weekend. Aziz Deen Sahib used to be the timekeeper between the two, and he will stand there. And so Aziz Sahib told me that Maulana never carried any books with him. He only had a Holy Quran in his pocket. He used to have a Holy Quran in his pocket, and in the other pocket he used to have Bible. And these debates took place, and Maulana was so eloquent in answering the Christian priest, Mr. Green, that even some of the newspapers, I have those cuttings, they said that the Imam of the London Mosque has blown Christianity to the ground. I remember one day I was at Hyde Park with Aziz Deen Sahib, who was my friend, and Aziz Sahib saw an old man sitting on a bench, and he said, "Whoa, this is Mr. Green, with whom Shams Sahib had the debate." So we both went to him, and he greeted Aziz Sahib because he knew Aziz Sahib very well. We sat next to him on the bench, and then I asked him a question, and I said, Maulana Jalauddin has died now. What are your impressions about him, because you had a debate with him for such a long time? He said, the first thing is that he was a great scholar of Bible. He knew Bible by heart. There was no need for him to open Bible By heart, he will say Matthew so-and-so and John so-and-so. And number two, he said that although I was a Christian, I am still a Christian. But I must say that this man was a very pious personality. And he had a very illumined face. And he said, I was always impressed by him. So this was the tributes paid to Hazrat Maolana Jalauddin Shams by Mr. Green, with whom he had the debate, and I was a witness to it.
You have to work hard. I mean, it was a really, really hard work. Not thinking about anything else, but just having the passion for the goals that you have. And that's where it's a love of Quran. He used to love reciting the Quran. Any place that he would go, he would visit some place that he was famous that he would recite the Quran. Any families that he would visit, that he would be reciting that. So those are the personal things that he had, but he had to work hard for that. There were other people in the same boat, same type of parents, same Qadian, but it was different thinking.
So you can imagine that, what kind of work he was doing, what kind of services he rendered, that Hazrat al-Muslim Maud Khalifatul Masih Sani Raziyallahu Anhu gave him the title Khalid Ahmadiyyat. Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Sani Raziyallahu Anhu died in 1965. And the next year, my father dies. So it means that my father was really meant to be a right hand for Hazrat al-Muslim Maud Raziyallahu Anhu. One of the persons called Abdul Aziz Bhamdi. Well, those people, who are of my age and who used to live in Rabwa, they know him very well. He narrates that his son was studying in Lahore, in Pakistan. He became ill. And now the exams were approaching very fast. And he had to sit in the exams. He requested his father, Abdul Aziz Bhamdi, for prayers. So he mentioned it to my father, and stating that, his son had been ill and he was unable to study properly, and he has to sit in the exams. So please remember him your prayers. My father said to him, yes, inshallah, I will pray for him. And he gave him a pen. And he said, that would be a conditional. And the condition is that give this pen to him and ask him that he must write all the papers with this pen. And which he did. And you would be surprised to know that in spite of the fact that, that son of Abdul Aziz Bhamdi was unable to study properly, he became 5th in the whole university. So that must have been, that Allah the Almighty accepted the prayer of my father at that time.
During the bombing of the Second World War, a few bombs came down just next to the London Mosque, and this whole area was blown up. When I came in 1959, to Granville side of the mosque, there was nothing, no homes, nothing. They were all. And one bomb even came down just where the Nusrat Hall is today, but it did not explode, and they took it away. So Maulana was very much perturbed, and he thought that if the mosque was blown up in these attacks, we are a poor community, and how will we build another mosque, and that will be devastating for the community. So he said that I went into the mosque, and I went into sajda, and I prayed to God and said, Allah, we are a poor Jamaat. We don't afford, it was with the real hardship that we were able to construct this mosque. And this is the only place in the whole of England, so to say, from where the voice is raised that there is a God and Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is his prophet. If this was destroyed, then there will be no place. So he said, while I was there, God revealed to me, and he said that this mosque will not be touched. this will be saved. Don't worry about it. So Maulana came, and the next Friday he delivered a sermon, and he told the people that God has promised that this mosque will be safe during the war period. No bomb will be dropped on it. Therefore, if any one of you would like to come and spend the nights here or days here, you are most welcome. It's open. The seed of waqf was sown in my mind by Hazrat Maolana Jalauddin Shams. And it so happened that he was coming after 10 years. And one day before his arrival at Qadian, announcements were made all over Qadian that people should reach the railway station the next day and receive Hazrat Maulana Jalauddin Shams. So I arrived at the station, and as I said, as far as the eye can see, there were people. And Shams arrived, and shouts of Nara Takbir were raised. There were many people who wept because he was coming after such a long time. And we made a queue and we shook his hand. It took a long time, about 2 to 3 hours he was standing there, and the people were coming. Some were garlanding him, and some were shaking his hand. So that actually impressed me so much, that scene. And I thought that this man has done something special, that so many people of Qadian have turned out to, and I must do the same thing. So that was the beginning of the idea of waqf in my mind. And I'm very indebted to Hazrat Maulana Shams Sahib, that it was through him that I had the first thinking of getting myself a waqf zindagi.
खलीफा सानी से बहुत ज़्यादा तल्लुक़ रहा। हम हफ्ते में 1-2 दफ़ा ज़रूर जाके मिला करते थे, और ख़ास तौर पे उम्मे ताहिर से भी। तो हजूर को भी हम कहते थे कि हमारे अब्बा जान को कब बुलाना है। तो मेरे दादा जान भी बहुत उम्र रसीदा थे और बड़े उदास थे, बीमार रहते थे। तो वो ख़त लिख के लेके जाते थे, लेकिन जब रेती सला जाते थे तो वो ख़त फाड़ देते थे। वो कहते थे कि मैंने वक्फ़ किया हुआ है बच्चे को, मैं कैसे कहूँ कि उसे वापस बुलाएं। तो एक दफ़ा बल्कि किसी ने, जलालुद्दीन कमर थे, उन्होंने भी हुजूर को ख़त लिखा कि काफ़ी अरसा हो गया शम्स साहब को, तो उनके बीवी बच्चों को बुला लेना चाहिए लंदन। तो हुजूर ने वही ख़त अब्बा जान को वापस भेजा। तो फिर अब्बा जान ने उनको नाराज़ हुए कि आपने ये लिखा है, तो हुजूर कहेंगे शायद मैंने आपको कहा है, तो आपको ऐसी बात नहीं करनी चाहिए थी।
I was only 16 years of age when my father died on 13th of October 1966. Somehow it was the time of Maghrib prayer, and it was not my routine, but somehow I lie down on my bed and I started reciting the Holy Quran. I was reading Tafsir al-Saghir. And suddenly it happened that, outside door was open, and one of the members of the press, printing press, Ziaul Islam press, because my father used to go there as well, for publishing the books, and he was working there, and he was one of our relatives as well. He came inside, and he loudly asked me, not me particularly, because he was outside the room. He said, "Where is Shamsa?" So I replied calmly that he had gone to Sargodha. So when he realized that, it might have been the truth, that, he was not here, then he, started crying, and he said he has passed away. How I took it, I would say that, obviously it was shocking news. But I kept calm. I continued reading the Quran, and then later on, I went to Sargodha with some of friends, to bring the body of my father. But when we reached there, we were told that the body was already sent to Rabwa. When I came back, soon after, Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Salis, rahimahullah ta'ala, came with his wife. He stood beside the body of my father and he kissed the forehead of my father. And obviously, he embraced us. He prayed for us a lot. And then the next day, because my father passed away on Thursday, the next day was Friday, and Hazrat Khalifatul Masih III, rahimahullah ta'ala, Mirza Nasir Ahmed Sahib, delivered the Friday sermon, and he explained about my father. The whole khutbah was on that subject. And how we were behaved. People, gathered in large number in Rabwa, outside our home. And there were thousands of them who came from outside Rabwa as well, who joined in Janaza prayer, which was led by Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Salis, rahimahullah ta'ala. And Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Salis, rahimahullah ta'ala, said about my father in his Friday sermon, हमारे बुजुर्ग, हमारे भाई, हमारे दोस्त, मुकर्रम मौलवी जलालुद्दीन साहिब शम्स हमसे जुदा हुए। खुदा की खातिर उन्होंने अपनी ज़िंदगी को गुजारा और मैं समझता हूँ कि उन्होंने वफ़ात के बाद खुदा ताला की अबदी रज़ा को हासिल किया। That our elder, our brother, our friend, Maulvi Jalauddin Sahib Shams has departed from us. For Allah's sake, he spent his whole life. And I'm convinced that after his death, he attained the true love of Allah the Almighty. This was said by Hazrat Khalifatul Masih III, rahimahullah ta'ala, about my father. And I would say, whatever he did, that would be remembered all the time in the history of Ahmadiyyat, inshallah. And to sum up, I would say that if I say that won't be wrong, that as Allah the Almighty has mentioned in the Holy Quran, Inna salati wa nusuki wa mahyaya wa mamati lillahi rabbil alameen. This applies to my father, that all of his prayers, all of his sacrifices, his life and his death for the sake of Allah the Almighty.